Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. You can see I have some glue up going on here, so we got a project coming, so that video will probably be for next week. But this week, since I have to do some fine tuning on my hand planes, because I do have a new hand plane that I have to sharpen and an old plane that I have to sharpen. So today that's what we're going to do. I'm going to take my new number 4 smoothing plane. I just got this from Grizzly. We're going to see if we can sharpen this up, because out of the box these are not really ready to hand plane and get a good surface on. So what I'm going to do is I'll get you a close up here. I'll show you we're going to be using water stones. I'll show you the water stones. I'll show you what grits I have, and then we'll go through the techniques of sharpening these. All right, guys, let's get a close up. Okay, guys, so what I have here are some wet stones. They're double-sided. So this one here is 3000 and 8000. I'm going to use that for my last polishing. That's really going to fine-tune it, give me a really razor-sharp edge. I'm going to start with the 600 grit. Then I'll move to the 2000, and that'll give me my nice edges and flatten it out and get rid of all the little burrs on the end and really give me a nice angle on the blade. I'm gonna loosen up all my parts here. Now, if you haven't already done so at this point, you also want to not just remove the blades, but wipe off any of the oil that it comes shipped with. They do ship these with machining oil to keep them from rusting. So I'm just going to wipe off any little bit. I did try to pass this, right out of the box. I passed it on a piece of pine just to see how it was, and not sharp at all. All it did was give me little dust shavings and chip out.
Now I'm going to remove this screw completely, but you don't have to. I'm only doing this because it's a brand new plane. I want to get all the machine grease out of it.
Pay attention before you take this apart how much of a gap you have here. It's just about a little less than 1/8 of an inch, a little more than a 1/16. Parts off to the side and keep everything in line. Here's my iron. You can see the shipping oil is right there. We're going to wipe that down. So I'm going to lay it flat, and I'm just going to work it back and forth a couple of times. Keep wetting this down. This is a new stone, guys. I had to get rid of my oil stone, so we need to soak this up really good. It's going to keep eating up that water. Just a couple of passes, all it takes. Make sure you keep it flat. Now I'm going to turn it over. I want to make sure that I keep my angle with the iron exactly the same. You could use a honing guide for this. Okay, now we're starting to get a nice sharp edge here. 2000 grit. Get this up. It doesn't take much to get these sharp. Raise up the iron until you see it squeeze out the water. Once it squeezes out the water at the bottom of the blade on the iron, and you know you have the right angle, just hold it for about 10 seconds. Now we're creating burrs on that side. Now it's starting to get a nice sharp edge. And what you can do, put it on your nail. Now I can feel it grabbing my nail. If it slides off my nail, then it's not sharp. Right now it's not sliding off my nail, so it's getting really sharp. Now this is my 3000 grit. Start off the same way. Knock off any burrs. The iron on there. Raise it up. Squeeze out the water. Check your angle on the side. And just hone for about 10 seconds. $8,000 grit. But what you want to do here, on this edge, on the polishing stone, just take a steel rule, a thin steel rule. We're going to place it on the edge. That's going to give me just a little bit of lift. And what that's going to do is knock off the burrs and give me my final pass. Now, okay, so I have a piece of 5/4 hard maple right here, so I'm going to just put that in the vise. And now we're going to check this out. I'll make a pass, and then I'm going to see where I'm getting my shaving and also how sharp the blade is just by how thin the piece will be and how fast I can get across maples. Maple's really tough on your tools. If you don't have a sharp plane blade, forget it. Okay, so my shaving, pretty thin, but off to the left. So that's the high side. I'm going to move my frog and readjust. And now, I have a nice sharp blade. Look at that finish. Now this is a smoothing plane, so I'm getting a really nice finish. It's doing its job. No tear out. And that surface is pretty much ready to use. Very light sanding would just make it even more perfect. If you take a little time, about 10 seconds on the honing on each side of each stone, and don't forget at the end, when you're done on the polishing part of the stone, put a steel rule on the end, put your plane iron on there, and make a pass and knock off that burr, and you're all done.